Hey guys, this is Grace and welcome to my channel and welcome to the creative exercise video number 18. This was supposed to be posted in September, but it's gonna probably happen sometime in October. We'll see. I actually created a video, a prompt and a video before this, but somehow it didn't capture all of the work that I did, and so I went back to zero and just started working on a different prompt. And so the prompt for today is September 28th, and it's called Ritual Voyeurs. Basically, what this prompt is saying that a lot of the creatives and a lot of the greats, they have a specific ritual that they do that makes them, that gets their creative juices flowing. And so the author said it's not the specific rituals they implement that made them successful, it's that they actually have some. We make our rituals, then our rituals make us. Don't worry about the rituals of others, but make certain that you have some of your own. They are what keep you grounded even when the world and your work devolve into chaos. And so when I think about rituals as far as scrapbooking, I think about the process, right? What is the typical process that we have? And so I am actually filming the process that I do. This is something that you don't really see in any of my videos. I cut them out, or I actually don't film this part when I'm planning, but there is a bit of planning that I do before I start filming. And that's because in my mind, a plan is easier to execute than no plan at all. That's kind of how I look at it. And so the first thing I do, of course, is I work with my photos. That's like the step one for me is I need to see my photos. And then lately I have been going through sketches because it just helps to jumpstart whatever design I want. And it's actually kind of funny because this video is typical for me, wherein I would start with an idea and then it would evolve into something else. And so this is a part of my process or of my ritual that people don't really get to see because I don't film myself doing this, but I just go through my sketches. Sometimes there's a sketch that I really want to use, and so I start with that one. But with this particular one, I didn't have any, there wasn't even any initial idea that's jumping at me. And so I'm just kind of rummaging through my book of sketches. Now, one of my favorite sketches, of course, is Scrapbook Generation. If you've been here before, you know how I love them. But I also save some sketches from, say, Page Map Sketch or Scrapbook and Cards Today. So I do that, and I have all of them in a binder, all curated and collected and organized. I said, and then this is the next thing in my ritual, is I have a sketch I want to base my layout on, not necessarily follow to a T. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but then I make it my own, but by making my own sketch. Does this add to the time? Sure it does, but for me, I like to see the end result before I start cutting the papers and diving into the process. So I actually really like this part because then I can see the end before I even begin. And this is just a rough sketch, just to kind of give me, the biggest thing for me is placement, right? Where are my photos going to be? Where are my pattern paper is going to be? And then also this helps me to see, okay, I have a lot of straight edges. I need to add some scallop or some circular accents there. And then the sketch called for these hearts, right? Those are the accents. And so I'm just putting that on my layout for now, just to kind of see where it could be. Now, The sketch is a 12 by 24, so it's double page, but this page is actually going to be an 8.5 by 11 times 2 because it's going to be for my me album. When I create anything that is pertaining to me, it's a smaller scale, which I really like because then I don't have to buy extra 12 by 12 albums, although I have done that before for my me album. But lately or nowadays I stay with 8.5 by 11 because it's just easier for me to store it. And then I'm also jotting down all of the other ideas that I want for this particular layout. So that's my ritual in a nutshell of how I create before I even turn on the recording. So now we actually go into the creating part. And I'm kind of curious, what are your rituals? Do you do something specific? Maybe some people, their rituals, or maybe some other creatives, their rituals are that they, start at a certain time frame, or that they listen to a certain music or things like that. For me, what really gets me started in scrapbooking are my photos. And then I go with picking a design base, which is usually a sketch. And then I sketch my own just to kind of see what the end result will look like. And then I start creating. Now, does that mean that the end result should look like what I had envisioned it in the beginning? Absolutely not, because of course we are creatives. We kind of move as the inspiration happens, right? But then it's always nice to have a base. Okay, so this is where I started veering away from the sketch, because the sketch had this like single, there's just one line of photos in the middle of the page. And as much as I like that idea, it actually didn't fit with my photos and also the scale that I have, because my scale is smaller. And so I am actually doing 2 rows of photos, and then I am going to skip that part over to the right page, but I will fill that up with something else. Now, the sketch called for not borders, but like strips of paper on the top and on the bottom. And it also implies that you have this big space of paper as a background, but I'm using a white cardstock, so to still kind of give that illusion that there is paper as the base or as a background, I am going to cut some strips of this pink paper with some text, and then I'm going to use that, kind of putting them together and going around the page. And I'm just kind of move things around. I know some people, they don't like this, that you because you're moving things around, that and you're not adhering things, that it moves so much, but I actually don't mind that. I'd rather it move a little bit, because then instead of gluing them, then discovering I don't like it and then having to take out the item that has adhesive already on it. Okay, so another thing that I discovered as I am in the process of creating the layout was there's really no room on the bottom of now my 2 rows for a title. So I had to move my title, and I discovered that I would rather put that on the bottom of my selfie than over any other place. So I moved that little photo of like just sandwich and chips from Panera, and then I'm moving that to the other side. And so that's where I'm going to start building, again, another kind of vision of a background, but I'm just piecing it. So it's just going to be butting with each other. So it wouldn't be like a full-on sheet of paper, but it'll just be tucked in. And I actually really was happy with this doodlebug paper that I decided to use, because it matched that blue cup of the Baskin-Robbins cup. All right, so while I am working on all the pieces of this layout, just letting you know that these photos are of my birthday in 2021. Yes, I am that behind, and so I am just documenting that. And I did have to go to work that day, but I got to wear one of my favorite dresses at that time, so that was nice. And if you know me and my birthday ritual, my tradition for my birthday, one of the only really thing that I look forward to with my birthday, as you get older, you don't really look forward to that age going up, but what I look forward to is getting my freebies. So that's something that I almost always do. The only time that I didn't do that was this past birthday, which was in July, because I was out of the country. But for most of my birthdays, I always get my freebies, and that is like get my scoop from Baskin Robbins. I get a bagel from Panera, and then I get some items from Sephora. I get my nothing bun cake. I get my Annie Ann's as well. So there's a few fun things that I get. And then it just so happened that there was a meeting at work and they had extra Panera sandwiches. So one of the secretaries gave me one. So that was another fun treat for my birthday. So all in all, it was a good birthday, even though I had to work. And then this is the part of the layout that I have started putting things together. I really wanted to add just a very subtle design to this yellow dotted paper. So I used my stitching wheel. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's a sewing tool that helps with even stitching. And so you can create like tracing stitching lines. And so I actually use that to kind of mimic an idea of stitching, but just kind of subtly poking holes on the paper, and it does give enough design that you can actually see it. You don't see it much in the video because of the way that the video is filming and the lighting, but it's there. There's a very subtle hint of dots all around the sides of this paper. So now I am starting to add the title, and these are just stickers from American Crafts, birthday themed, of course, and I'm just going to put birthday wishes. I also like that the color of this pink matches the llama that I'm going to be using as an accent on the other side of my page. I did double matte my selfie photo just so that it will stand out against all of the photos. And so you see that blue spot in the right side of my page. I found a birthday llama, or a llama with like birthday theme, and so I'm putting some foam adhesive on the back of that, and I'm going to add that to that big space in with the blue paper. And I just felt like that's a really nice space to add an accent, plus the accent actually fit in that space, so that was really fun. Now if you haven't heard, or if you don't know, I actually put together like mini kits in my stash. So I have a birthday, I guess you should say birthday bag. So it has lots of birthday papers, embellishments, ephemera, whatnot. And so I pulled that particular kit out so that I can create this layout. And it really does make the process faster because everything is coordinated with the theme that I am working with, and so I know that they will work together. I also try my very best, not all the time, but my very best to match up the colors of the papers so that they can all work together. I'm almost done with this. I will write down my journaling off camera, but I would just basically handwrite the things that I had told you about, all the fun things that happened for this particular birthday. Now, it looks done right now, but I will be kind of rummaging through some other embellishments that I have for this particular homemade kit, and I'm just going to add a few more little details here and there, and then the layout is done. Again, if you like these videos, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. And I highly encourage you to look at the rituals that you have with creating, or if you don't have one, maybe start one today. It doesn't have to be big. As you can see, it's, for me, it's just part of my process, but it's kind of nice to have something that is like, you know, that that's how you start every project, and you don't have to think about it. You don't have to take too long with the process. You just dive in there, and you know that that's your step 1, step 2, and so on and so forth. So again, thank you so much for watching. There are some close-ups at the end, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye now.